Hi, this is Professor Parish, and welcome to English 123, which is Introduction to Creative Writing. So I'm really excited to have you in class this semester. It's going to be a little bit different being an independent study course, being that there's just you in this class. But I wanted to use this video to kind of just go over quickly how the class works, how the setup is, and just review the syllabus. So what I'm on right now is our course homepage. You can see we have our two textbooks listed here, the Best American Short Stories by Tom Broda, and then the Best American Poetry. And so those are the two editions that you'll need. One's 2012, one's 2013. As far as this homepage goes, and it's slightly condensed here on the screen, but my contact information is right here, my email, office hours, things like that. And then if you scroll down, you'll see that there is your syllabus, right here. There is an announcement section, so not this video specifically, but your future lecture videos will be posted under announcements, so you can see them each week. This video currently that I'm recording is going to go up here where our week 1 introduction lecture video is, but week 2 will go down here under announcements, and all of the future lecture videos will be on that announcement section of your course homepage. As far as the class goes, it's set up very simply. Using this, you can see that there's your course content, weekly assignments, discussion forum, your resources, email and roster. The links to the lecture videos will also be under resources, grade book, things like that. If I were you, I would not pay attention to the weekly assignments. It's the exact same as course content, and I think the course content page is set up a lot more user-friendly than the weekly assignments, but they both convey the same information. I think course content just looks a little bit better, and then you have your discussion forum. So before we get into that, though, I do want to go over the syllabus for the class, which I'm going to pull up right here. And so the syllabus has my contact information at the top. Obviously, for this being a creative writing class, the focus is on doing composition. We're doing poetry and prose this semester. It's going to be kind of an off and on thing where we do short story and then poetry, then short story and then poetry, and then we do kind of a final project at the end. So this is also a shortened, condensed class, so it's down to 9 weeks. We have this week and then the 8 weeks after it. We don't break for spring break this year, so there's an extra week included in that. Which is fine. I think having an extra week is helpful. So before I scroll down to the course schedule, you can kind of see the goals and objectives in this class, which is really just to help you to become more proficient in writing creatively, which creative writing is a very subjective thing. It's like there's obviously elements that you will need to have in your writing to be successful, and you've probably, if you've taken English 122, you understand what those elements are. But creative writing is a very, very subjective field. So I am more interested in the fact that you can compose within the parameters that you're given and follow the prompts and create a concise, cohesive work. But the creativity aspect is very much up to you and what you want to do in this class. So obviously you can go back through the syllabus and read the objectives word for word. The main goal is to write fiction and poetry and critique and do peer writing, which it'll basically, since it's an independent study, will be between myself and you for the class. So on this class schedule, it breaks down the course and what we're doing each week, and the assignments are listed all there. So if you want to print this out and highlight as you get done, as the semester goes, I'm going to go ahead and open up assignments a week to 2 weeks early. So for example, this first week, and you'll see here shortly, I have weeks 1 and 2 already open. So you can work ahead. Since you're the only one in this class, you can kind of work ahead at your own pace. Obviously, next week it'll open up the next 2 weeks, and you can kind of work ahead if you want to. The only thing that you can't work ahead on is turning in the final project and the final reflection. Those are both going to be opened that Sunday, May 3rd or May 2nd before finals week. But otherwise, you can turn stuff in early. You can work ahead if you want to. It's kind of up to you working at your own pace. If you get done with the weeks that are assigned and you want me to open up a week early, just let me know and I'll open it up a week early. Absolutely. You kind of get to work at your own pace here, especially since you're the only one in the course. The textbooks are listed here. How the points are determined, this class is out of 1,000 points. So there are 4 papers and they're worth 100 points each. There are 5 discussion forums, there are 5 topic and outlines, 5 reading responses, and then a final creative writing project that I'll show you the guidelines for, but it won't be due till the very end of class. And then the reflections. There aren't any exams. There's no exams. You'll notice in your textbook, there's not much to take tests over. It's mainly just stories. So we're not testing in here. It's creative writing. It's just giving you a chance to be creative and write to your own extent. The attendance policy is here. Basically, how I work with my class is that assignments are just due on time every week. Since they're opened up a week ahead of time, I don't grant extensions. You just have to get the assignments due when they're due. And then the only thing with attendance is if you skip a week of class, I give you a warning. And if you miss the next week, then I withdraw you from the course. But I don't think that'll be a problem. And then there's the compliance and all that down there, but you know that good stuff. And that's pretty much the syllabus. So as far as the class goes, if I go to course content on here, you'll notice that scrolling down to week 1, and you can't see this yet because I'm recording it before class officially starts. For this first week, you have the introduction discussion forum. Since you're the only one in the class, you're just posting in the forum. There aren't going to be any responses. You just post your answers and I'll grade it based on that. And then there are 2 short stories in our textbook to read, and then those 2 stories will coordinate with your reading response number 1. And if you click on that, you'll see the guidelines for that reading response. And basically the guidelines for our reading responses is you will read some stories in our textbook. There are some questions I want you to answer about those stories, and then you sandwich those answers with an introduction and a conclusion. And they're usually 1 to 2 pages max. So it's not anything crazy. And then the other thing is your topic and outline for paper 1. I will say this, since this is a shortened class, there's not going to be a lot of downtime in between papers. It's pretty much going to be topic 1 week, paper the next week is pretty much how it's going to go. But your papers are only 3 pages minimum. So there's not going to be a whole lot of writing involved, but it is going to be a very quick turnaround since this is a short semester class. And then week 2 is going to be the second discussion forum in paper 1. So once these open up, you'll have basically 2 weeks worth of assignments already given to you there. If I go to the discussion forum, then week 1 discussion forum is this week. And basically how I determine the grade for your discussion forum is 5 points for grammar and spelling and 15 points for the content analysis. So basically each of the questions are going to be worth 5 points that are listed down below that you answer. So this first week is pretty simple. It's all just opinion questions about poetry and short stories, your favorite author, what do you hope to take from this class? Since you're an English major, what are you planning on doing with this class outside? I will say that the 2 stories you read for the reading response, I intentionally picked them because they're similar, but they're also opposite each other in a lot of ways. So I'm really curious what you think of them. There's a little bit of graphicness in one of the stories that kind of threw me off. And so I'm curious to know your interpretation of it. And we'll talk about it in next week's video. And I'm sure if I see you on campus, we'll talk about it. But yes, that's pretty much the assignments for this week for the course. So as always, if you have any questions about anything, you're in a kind of a fortunate position that since you're the only one in this course, you can ask questions and let me know if anything is confusing or needs more explanation to it. But that's pretty much the class. I'm really excited. I love creative writing because it's pretty much limitless as far as what you want to do. And usually students that take a creative writing class have already taken English 122. So you've already examined the elements of prose. You've looked at setting, character, plot, point of view, symbolism, theme. You've also looked at style. So it's like you've seen all these elements at play in English 122, and now you get to explore them further and kind of just delve into them further in your own work and see how others have used them in a more modern context. So I'm excited to see what you come up with in terms of this class. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. But otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful week. Stay safe, and I will talk to you again very soon about English 123. Bye.